Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to our video on Bali. Just wanted to quickly start off our video with a few little tips and tricks and info that we have found beneficial or helpful, or just things that we didn't really know, being that this was our first trip to Bali. So hang on tight and I'll do that, and then we'll get into the Bali content. So number one tip I would have would be definitely book a villa. So villas are amazing, especially if you are wanting somewhere as like a base or somewhere as a home. It's given us the ability to sort of just hang out and use it really as our own space. We do have a housekeeper who comes in every morning, and she's amazing. She's pretty much cooked us breakfast every morning. The Balinese people here are just so willing to bend over backwards to do anything for you, and they are always wanting to just sort of help out and do anything they can. With kids, definitely get a private villa that has a pool. You see, we've got one, and it's been amazing. The kids every afternoon or every morning really get up, have breakfast, they go and swim. We then go out and explore, they come back, we do some more swimming, and then the kids are generally asleep by like 8:30 at night. So it's been like super helpful with getting them to rest, and just sort of giving everyone a really good night's sleep. So definitely number one tip, villa. All right, tip number two is definitely think about your clothing or clothing styles, or your kids, and how many clothes they generally go through in a day. Unfortunately, with 3 kids, we were recommended to only bring 2 changes of clothes and then have the change of clothes that we come over in the airport. Now, we've come from Melbourne, so the clothes that we came with were like long pants and jumpers, so that's already one change of clothes out of the concept of us wearing them here, because it's just way too hot. And then the 2 changes of clothes is just not quite enough. Now, yes, you can buy it in Bali. I find the prices really aren't a whole lot different. Some things are, some things aren't. So it's sometimes it's just easy to bring your own clothes. We only bring carry-on, and we still had space for more carry-on in our allowance. So just think about that and what you guys wanting to do, because at the moment we're having to wash every day or every second day, and then sometimes that's just not quite enough, or we are running out of clothes because it's so hot. You are like, you can't wear your clothes for more than one day in a row. Tip 3 is learn the money before you come. Go and find an exchanger somewhere. There's always plenty around. Definitely like the travel agents and stuff, they do money exchange. Try and get the basic ones and try and get a little bit familiar with them. Quite often you won't use the coins, primarily the notes. We did only sometimes get coins back, and we didn't really use them very often. We kind of left them for our housekeeper. So it's definitely something to get used to. A little added tip in that is, generally the difference is you take 4 zeros off, and I will cover this more. I'll do a little thing on all the notes and the money and what it works out to be money wise, but definitely it's about 4 off. So something like 100,000 rupiah is $10 in Australia, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you do seem to go through them quite a lot depending on where you're going and what you're doing. Alrighty, so as discussed, I've got a couple of the notes here for you. I am missing 2 notes. However, I will put up a photo on this that we found very beneficial. We just got it from Facebook pages, etc., and it's shared really everywhere. So this one here is 100,000 rupiah, which in Australian money works out to be around $10. So quite often you will end up with quite a lot of those, and you use them pretty much everywhere you go. That's how we also work out roughly what we're spending when you're buying something at a shop. You kind of go off that, $10, is that $10 worth something, from wherever you're from. Your 50,000 is $5. So this is where you take the 4 zeros off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That dollar amount is what left. It is basically a $5 Australian note is what that would work out to be. For this one, there is only 4 numbers. So you take off the 4 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'd put your decimal point here. So that is 50 cents in Australian. And again, same again, decimal point would be there. So 20 cents. The notes that I'm missing here at the moment is a $10,000, which is $1 in Australian, and it is like a red, I think, and then a 20,000, which is a $2, and it's green. And again, I've got that link up, that picture up, so you'll know. You will sometimes come across the coins here. I have very rarely used these, so I honestly cannot tell you very much about them. From what I can understand, if I go by the 4 decimal point thing, this would be like 2 cents and that would be like 1 cent. But again, I quite often will just use whatever note I've got. You know, I'll give them like a 20-cent note or something, and that helps thing. When you are touching the money though, always sanitize after. It is known to be very, very dirty. So wash your hands, carry some sanitizer with you. We have a spray bottle generally in our bum bag, which isn't there at the moment. And when we pay, we just spray some money on our hand, and that covers us for the rest of the day. If you've never been to Bali before, definitely do not drink the water. Don't brush your teeth in the water. Try and really teach the kids or pre-train the kids to not put water in their mouth when they're swimming, when they're brushing their teeth, etc. Always use bottled water. It's okay to cook with, apparently, but if it's drinks, you know, again, question your ice if you're getting given an ice at a restaurant, because you just don't know what's in it, and it is a third world country, so you just really need to be careful. If you do come down with Bali belly, as you'll see later on in our video, there's lots of help out there. It does cost money. Your travel insurance should cover it, which I am in the process of learning myself. 5, don't go touching the wildlife. You will see lots of dogs around the joint, and they're very cute and very cuddly, but don't touch them. They are wild dogs. You see them scratching all the time. There's lots of fleas, etc. Just be very cautious. You don't obviously want to catch anything and ruin your holiday, as well as any other wildlife you might find around, like in the monkey forest. You know, obviously be mindful of those. They can be a little bit aggressive, so you just really don't want to spoil your holiday by doing something stupid or touching something stupid. Definitely making sure that doesn't happen.
Also, tip 6, don't do anything stupid like running around in the villa when it's wet. And if you're going ATVing and it starts to rain, don't go stupid, because, as an example, let's say you were going too fast and you hit a stump or something, and your ATVing was going out of control. It could flip over, and you could get stuck under it and break a bone.
Yeah. Alrighty. Tip number 7 is always make sure you have something to carry your money in. Now, I don't recommend like a purse or a handbag or anything like that. People have been known, hasn't happened to us, but have been known to like snip handbags and take off with them. Again, it's just hearsay. We just went with a bum bag like this, and we just wore it over the front of us. Has all our money in it. Primarily Bali works in cash, so it is really beneficial. Another tip of that is try and bring over as much as you're planning on spending in Australia or whatever country you come from, in that cash. So we had brung $2,000 over with us, and then after a week or so, because we were doing lots of activities and stuff, we found we needed some more money. It was very hard to find an ATM that was reputable. We were very worried about like scams, etc. or an actual branch. So we were trying to go into a branch to get money out, but it was very hard to find that. Lots of ATMs, but again, are they safe? Who knows? You don't want to risk it. So definitely just try and bring over as much as you think you're going to spend in that time frame in your money. There is money exchanges everywhere. So yeah, definitely do that. 8 on the money exchange part, you will walk around lots of places and there'll be all different prices on offer. Do not go with the highest ones. Generally, they will scam you. Always go to someone who will count the cash on a counting machine in front of you. Generally, and don't quote me on this, it will say no commission, and so they won't charge you any extra to exchange the money. But it's a lot more better than paying the higher price, and quite often that's when you lose out on money because they keep some, or they have little tricks to, keep it for themselves. So otherwise, all being lovely, very helpful people.